everyone. Welcome back to the Fundraising News Podcast from Dakota. Today is Wednesday, March 19th. We're very excited to be bringing you some news today. We had a pretty short episode last week. We also had a really long episode last week. I think this one will be kind of right in the middle. We are pumped up for March Madness this year. We're running our 5th year of the Dakota March Madness
I still
bracket.
got to fill my bracket out. Who do you have?
You got to Venmo me too. People forget that. Yeah. Everyone remembers to fill out the bracket, but everyone forgets the Venmo. Yeah. I am going with the New Mexico Lobos to go unbelievably far. I do think Duke is going to win it all, but New Mexico will be right there.
Nice. I think I'm going to go with Duke, safe pick, and try to rack up the points.
Yep.
But we'll see. Let's get into it though, Pat. Some job changes. I guess I could start us off today. Starting off with our alternative asset manager, Blue Owl Capital. They've appointed Blake Shorthouse, most recently founder and head of family capital for EMEA and Asia at KKR. He's now at Blue Owl as their new global head of family capital. So natural move for him. Congrats to him and Blue Owl. Next up, Dynasty Investment Bank, the investment banking arm launched in 2023 by wealth management platform Dynasty Financial Partners. They have named Sam Anderson and Harris Baltch to lead the business as co-heads of their investment bank there. And then lastly here, Colin Simpson has left John Hancock and is going to be joining Manulife as their chief financial officer.
Great. Kicking us over to the RIA segment, just had to consult my notes here because I missed something a little earlier. So I want to just call this one out. So we do have Stifel is the first one we'll talk about today. We don't always talk about them, but they're going to be bringing over a $1.3 billion Raymond James team in Georgia. This team was known as the Greer Financial Group. They manage just over $1.3 billion in client assets. They have a handful of teammates over there. They're led by Hal Green, Ryan Emery, and George Greer of Greer Financial Group. That's the name on the door, as well as Maggie Greer. Definitely a relation. I'm not exactly sure what it is, though. The team has over 80 years of experience in wealth management. It's a great win for Stifel and taking them over from Ray J. And then moving right along to Michigan, where I do think Michigan State is going to have a great run in March Madness. Integrated Partners has announced that they will be bringing on the Prout Financial Design. That is an advisory firm with $331 million in assets under management and under administration. They were founded in 1990 by Dennis Prout. Prout Financial Design began as an education-based financial planning practice. They have a staff of 6 that cover data, client services, support, and marketing. And then finally, in Denver, or right outside of Denver, in Greenwood Village, Colorado, Focus Partners, Kovitz, which is a Focus Partners network firm, has acquired the Colorado-based affiliate Transom Wealth. So a merge that's happened within Focus, as both of these were part of Focus Financial Network. This will bring an additional $3 billion in client assets to Kovitz, and it will keep that $3 billion on the Focus Partners Network. So a win for everyone involved.
Nice, Pat. We'll move on to searches here. We did see one recent RFP this morning, actually, I believe, coming out of the Illinois Police Officers Pension Fund, $13 billion pension fund. They've issued an RFP for U.S. equities, U.S. small cap equity managers to be specific. Deadline for this RFP is going to be May 20th. So you guys do have a little bit of time there. Verus is a consultant on this search, and then they're going to look to allocate around $390 million according to the RFP. I have a couple other updates here as far as search updates goes as well. If we move over to Sacramento with the Mendocino County Employees Retirement Association, Colin is their consultant. Little less than $1 billion in assets for this plan, but for their previous emerging markets core manager search, they've recently approved selecting Artisan Partners as that manager. RBC was also considered for the search as well. In tandem, they've been reviewing managers for their non-US small cap manager search. The finalist for this search is going to be AQR, Brandy's, and then Causeway as well. When we learn more about that, we'll provide the update, of course. And then one other quick update here related to searches, and then I'll let you take over the investments, Pat. Orange County Employees Retirement System. They disclosed a number of investments that I'll let Pat here list off a few, but they've also disclosed their 2025 plan for real estate commitments. They're looking to allocate around $400 million total, $100 million to the core portfolio, and then $225 to $300 million to the non-core portfolio. A number of investments there, Pat. Why don't you just share a few?
Yeah, on the Orange County side, just to take over, a handful of commitments that they've made across really all private funds here. I'll call these out. Across venture capital, they've made 3 commitments to Lightspeed. That is Lightspeed Venture Partners 15, Lightspeed Venture Select 6, and Lightspeed Opportunity Fund 3. That's going to be $50 million total going to Lightspeed, spread across those 3. You can find more information on the actual breakdowns in Marketplace. On the middle market buyout side, they have invested with Nordic Capital Evolution Fund 2. That is a European manager. They've also invested with another European middle market buyout firm called Oakley Capital for their Fund 6. On the real estate side here, they made investments with Carlyle and with Principal. It is a Core Plus fund with Carlyle. It's the Carlyle Property Investors. It's a $100 million commitment. And then with Principal for their Data Center Growth and Income Fund, which was a value add fund and a $75 million commitment. They also made a direct lending investment, late stage venture, and a private equity growth equity investment. So you can check all of that out in Marketplace. And then let's just cross the great United States and come here to New York, where we'll talk about the recent commitments being made by New York State Common. So if you don't know, they use a handful of different consultants: RVK, Townsend, Hamilton Lane, and Alborn. They're based in Albany, and they have committed to 4 strategies. One is Stellix Capital Partners 3, lower middle market buyout. They also did a co-invest opportunity with Stellix Capital Partners on their Fund 3. That's $400 million total. They invested with TA Associates on TA Clarendon East, middle market buyout fund, $300 million. And then finally, Architect Equity Fund 1, a $15.7 million commitment to a Fund 1, just probably something out of the emerging manager program there with New York State Common Retirement Fund.
Yeah, good call out there, Pat. Speaking of New York, we do have our Dakota Way Sales Conference on May 19th at Pier 60. You can learn more about that on our website, I'm sure. I know we'll both be there, but we'll give the rest of the conference slate here once we wrap up. I'll start us off with our fundraising news updates, Pat, and then we can wrap it up. But Stafford Capital Partners, they have closed their latest flagship Timberland fund at a little over $1 billion, $1.04 billion to be specific. This is going to be the world's largest secondaries fund dedicated to sustainable opportunities in the Timberland sector. So congrats to Stafford Capital there. Investors of the fund include new and existing investors, including institutional, mainly from the UK, with others from Germany, Korea, and North America as well. The Stafford International Timberland Fund 10 opened in October last year, securing just under $1 billion from 12 investors against its target of $1.5 billion with a $5 million minimum investment. Currently, the fund is 34% invested with over $330 million deployed to 5 transactions covering 27 sustainably managed Timberland assets and has another $140 million lined up ready to go.
Yeah, I'll wrap us up here. North Haven Infrastructure Partners, if you're not familiar, that is Morgan Stanley Investment Management's private infrastructure platform. They raised a little over $4 billion for their most recent fund, which was the 4th vintage of that. They opened that fund in September of 2022, so a little over 2 years for that fundraising process, which has been very successful. This was a follow-up to North Haven Infrastructure Partners 3, which closed in 2019. Fund 3, for what it's worth, raised a little bit more, $5.5 billion versus $4.1. Not sure, the reasoning behind that. Obviously, it's a tough fundraising environment, but I'm sure a level of, deal flow and, just difficult. I'm sure there was many things that went into the fundraising process there. One thing to call out here, again, according to Dakota Marketplace, the Alaska Permanent Fund was part of the investors, and they pledged $50 million of the $4.1 billion. So a little bit of a mid-size, smaller check size compared to what you're used to when you see a fund that size from a name like Morgan Stanley. So good to see other type of investors getting involved.
Thanks, Pat. Yeah, I think that wraps up for our agenda today. I'll close us off with, where we're headed here in the near future. We're recording this on the 18th. In 2 days, we're going to be in Park City. Great place to be, of course. If you're signed up, I'm sure you guys are going to have a great time. After that, we'll be in Atlanta on the 26th of this month at Chops Lobster Bar. April 9th, we'll be in San Francisco at the Amador Club. April 29th, back in Florida, in Tampa at Union New American. LA on May 6th, that's the rescheduled event. That's going to be at the Beverly Hills Hotel. We'll be in Philly May 21st. I'm sure you'll see most of the Dakota team here at the Union League of Philadelphia. London, Pat, you'll be there June 11th at the Ham Yard Hotel, and then Chicago, June 24th at Morgan's on Fulton. And I think I already just skipped over the Berlin event too in June that you'll be at as well, right?
Yeah, we will be doing a Berlin event ahead of Super Return. That will be on Tuesday, June 3rd in Berlin, Germany. Stay tuned. Once we finalize the venue, everyone will be the first to know.
Awesome. That's all we got. If you're looking to register for any of these events, you can do so at dakota.com/cocktails. Other than that, thanks for listening in. We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks.
This episode is brought to you by Dakota Marketplace. Are you tired of constantly jumping between multiple databases and channels to find the right investment opportunities? Introducing Dakota Marketplace, the comprehensive institutional and intermediary database built by fundraisers for fundraisers. With Dakota Marketplace, you'll have access to all channels and asset classes in one place, saving you time and streamlining your fundraising process. Say goodbye to the frustration of searching through multiple databases, websites, Form ADVs, and say hello to a seamless and efficient fundraising experience. Sign up now and see the difference Dakota Marketplace can make for you. Visit dakota.com/Dakota-Marketplace today.